Mr. Basil, how's it going, man?
Very well, man. How are you, Alex?
Nice to hear from you. Nice to hear from you.
Yeah, same
So
to you.
this week we have a surprise actually because I wasn't expecting to see it very soon. It's called Minari. Minari
Yeah,
is
yes.
the film.
Yes.
Is on Prime Video again. And this film was obviously landed on our list to see because it's got nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, and also surprisingly, it was the surprise of the year. It was awarded the Best Supporting Actress for a Korean actress. So basically tells the story of a Korean family. I think it's somewhere in the 80s. They're relocating
Yes.
to a remote part of Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a family that they're just moving to this. It's a big, massive trailer, I think, that they're moving into. So the family is parents and two children, a boy and a girl. And literally, they're coming from Korea, and the film just shows them searching for the American dream, because that's why they're there. They sacrificed a lot by the looks of it. We don't see where they're coming from. And they sacrificed a lot to get there, and now they're trying to adapt to what it looks like. Not necessarily the most ideal type of American, nothing even close to the
maybe a Southern American dream, but not the American dream. Yeah.
I mean, the first thing that the first thing that proves that it's not necessarily the American dream is the job that they got to do there, which I didn't even know existed.
I didn't know existed as well, and we were debating after we've seen what they were doing, if that still exists now, or machinery does it, because they haven't moved from Korea either, have they? They've moved from California, and they've been in California for 10 years. So, but they said that they were doing the same job, and the job was checking the sexes of tiny chicks, and the male chicks essentially get put onto a conveyor belt to go to death, burnt, and the female ones are raised to grow up and make chicken breast or eggs, and it's just a job to do that for like 12 hours a day, is to check the sexes of the chickens and chuck them into it. A horrible job,
And it sounded like they got a promotion because they were pretty fast.
If you're fast, then you get the promotion. Yeah. So straight away from the offset of the film, like you say, you know that the wife is not happy with where they've moved to, because first of all, it's not even a home. They make a comment that it could be blown away in a tornado, because it's like a motor home, something that can be transported.
Correct.
And the place hasn't even got steps, so straight away they can't even go into their house because there's no steps. They have to pull themselves up from the ground, crawl into it. And you can see the wife's not happy, and you don't know what they've come from. But the gentleman in the film, the husband, who's played by, is it Michael Young?
Stephen Young.
Young.
We've seen him in Walking Dead.
He plays Glenn in Walking Dead. Yeah, so he's very good. But he's moved there because of the land essentially around this motorcade home, which is apparently the best in America, as he describes it, didn't he?
Yes, and he wants to start a farm,
a garden.
A garden that grows actually, I think Korean plants, because Minari is an actual.
That's
plant.
the thing. Yeah, so Minari, the name of the film, is a plant. And do we find out what that plant actually is? Is it a vegetable, or is it just a flower, or?
Well, I like that it looks like a vegetable that grows on the side of
a
river. But also it represents, I would call it, when because their grandmother, when she turns up, she brings Minari to that land and she plants it, right, with one of the nephews, remember?
Yes.
And she said that this has always been feeding our people. So it's like almost like a legendary plant that will, has the characteristic of feeding the nation
as meaning, doesn't it?
In good and bad times, which I like that analogy. But also I like the fact that the father is very proud, because that's what the Korean culture is. He's very proud and wants to prove that he's made the right decision, and also he works very hard, and he's focused and stubborn. When his wife brings the grandmother over just to help her cope with the massive changes.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of what the film's about. Sorry to cut you off, but I think this is what the film's about because, just to go back to Minari, I think we both agreed that when it was growing well, like things were going well in the film, and when it wasn't, the opposite. I think you pointed that out, but yeah, and then. With mother coming over, the grandmother coming over for the children as well. And both the kids in the film play their parts respectively. You know, the little lad and the little girl in the film. They're very good. Absolutely. But I think what the film is about really is it's about the husband wanting a better quality of life, i.e. to become a farmer and make a bit of money. And it's the balance of trying to do that whilst also being a dad and supporting his family. And he can't really seem to do both at the same time.
Correct.
And the grandmother kind of highlights that, like her coming to live with them is kind of like he takes that as an offence. You know, they don't really get on straight away at first, and that's it. And the wife in the film takes it very, very personally when her husband is constantly running his farm. But in a way, he thinks he's doing the righteous thing for his family. He's trying to pull his family out of poverty, and he can only do that by not spending any time with them and spending all the money on this farm. But you know, it's contrasting opinion of, well, then we haven't got a dad and we haven't got any money, so what are you actually trying to do? But you know, it's like a long-term thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And I also like the clash of cultures. You know, they come there to that part of the country, you know, very open to adapt and willing to adapt. But you know, there's a moment where they're at the factory and the dad is with the son, and they see smoke coming up of the chimney of the factory, and the boy asks, you know, why is that smoke? Obviously we know what it is. But it's the chicks that didn't pass the test, basically.
Yeah, pass the sex test, yeah.
The sex test. And I won't spoil it because it is a good answer that the dad gives. But there's that aspect of it there too. On top of the grandmother's questions about life, you remember, because the boy is a bit sick himself, and he's always worried that if he runs too hard, his heart is gonna stop. The boy's
the boy's got a weak heart, hasn't he, in the film? And he can't even run. He can't even run. He's not allowed to run.
He keeps asking himself if he's gonna die and what's gonna happen when he's gonna die. And these are questions for, like, I think he's like not even 6 or 7.
Is he 4 or 5 or something like that? Isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, and then the moment when the grandmother realizes that this child is so young that he's asking the questions that I'm supposed to ask myself because she's in her 60s. That's good. So you get that sort of angle also in the story, which I thought was very good. Most surprising part is, Basil, what did you thought of? Because the grandmother, the actress, got the best Oscar.
Yeah, well, that's what I was just going to say. She got awarded the best supporting actress, I believe. Actress. And I think she's deserving of this. You know, I think like the role she played completely changes halfway through a film. I won't spoil it why, but something happens to her. And she completely changes. Like, you know, it's like she starts off as this enigmatic, quite a grand personality. You know, a little bit edgy for a grandma. You know, not your stereotypical. You know, he's just like sitting around watching TV really, and then betting and gambling and playing card games. You know, she's like massively into that. And then she goes from that to quite docile because of an incident in the film. And it just is it's a great performance by her because it's like a complete contrast in character development. And I think we said she's deserving of it. But I have to say, when I was watching that film, I forgot that award was nominated for the film in general. And I was a little bit surprised to hear it. But then I thought, actually, their performance does deserve it, to be honest, really. Yeah.
Yeah, no, really good. Pleasant to see, again, acting all around, to be honest, was good. So that's good. So it's called Minari. It's on Prime. We'll talk next week, sir.
Take care, Alex.
See you later. Bye-bye.